day. What's going on, boys?
Oh, my days.
What episode are we on? 77?
Yes,
Something like that.
77. Yeah, I think so.
Doing all right.
Marfangulo, Daniel.
And I think I think it's the first episode where it has been one of the most enjoyable Formula One races we've had.
I'm going to say it's one of the best motorsport races I've ever watched.
Wow.
Cars or bikes.
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge. It was an amazing race. And congrats to Oscar Piastri. What a win. What a
Yeah.
drive.
Yeah.
What a performance.
I think I called the top two drivers.
I think you did, mate. You did well again this week.
Yeah,
Top
thank
5.
you.
Got lucky. Yeah. Well, it's good.
What, lucky every week? Maybe I'm the crystal ball, Daniel.
Throwing shit at a wall.
Yeah.
Taking over.
Well, I just knew Oscar was going to win because Lando's fucking nowhere. He's just a crying little baby. But
You're not a fan, are you, James?
nah, I'm off him. You know what? My two boys are definitely Oscar, who's Aussie, and I love Charles.
Well, you would have been happy over the weekend.
Yeah, I was happy if any of them win.
From memory, though, I don't remember watching a first half of the race going, oh, he's going to win by a mile, Leclerc. And then the total opposite result. And it goes back to looking at Leclerc's free practice 1. Big accident, put it in the wall, didn't get any long running on that tyre or any tyre. And it just showed with at the end of the race and Piastri just doing that bonsai move. That was a great move.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
it was
Front
unreal.
straight.
so far back.
So far back. I mean, to be honest with you, Charles could have just covered the inside and would have won the race, but I don't think he would expect it to come from that far back.
Yeah, it's cool. The old surprise attack. Very kamikaze Pearl Harbor of him.
It was a surprise attack, I tell you that much. But yeah, good race all round. Sonoda's still on fraud watch for me. He's just hit out a shocker.
Yeah, if he has another shocker again, he's gone on actual Republica fraud watch. And we get shit canned.
How's
if
he not
we-
on there already?
Nah,
I
he's
should have put him on.
He's
now. I
like
really
top
should've.
tier fraud watch for me in all motorsport.
Him and Maverick should be shaking hands.
Who's the bigger fraud, Tom? Maverick or Sonoda?
I don't know, but I'm gonna say Sonoda, bro. Everyone rates him. This is the problem. Everyone rates Vinales as well, I suppose, don't they?
Well, we get beaten up for that as well. But we do Sonoda, and I've seen articles on how much of a great season he has.
Bro,
the dude's been in the fucking catch fence.
Bro, Sonoda came out and said I bet teams have been calling me. They're like, no, they haven't. No, you're shit. What are you talking about? You're terrible. And you're so I don't know what he's got nude photos of Christian Horner or something, but I don't know how he's still in that team. Honda's leaving. Get rid of him. You don't need the Japanese. It's not bloody LCR Honda. You know what I'm saying?
That's a real problem that we're going to talk about as well.
Give us some results, Brish. You sexy MF.
Actually, while I get the results up, how about a few formalities?
Yeah, left said definitely. Yes, definitely. Oh, Jesus.
Every episode, this man has his phone. You're the only person that doesn't have their phone on silent, I reckon, by the way. That's a tiz move.
That's a tism. Sorry, that's the bloody unfiltered water I had when I was a kid. Boys, I think you should take it away, James.
Yeah, shout out to obviously Adrian from Moto Heaven.
Some deals this week, James. Apparently.
I think it's for a while now, but it's going to be clearance helmets, Shoei and HJC. So we've got a lot of riders that listen to this. If you want looking for a new Shoei or HJC, I was going through them today. The GTR 2s, NXR 2s, and you're like 20-30% off Shoei's at the moment.
Yeah, wow.
And HJCs at the same
good.
time. So head over to motoheaven.com.au.
Free delivery as well.
Yep, it'll be free delivery.
Over $100.
Yeah,
Can't go
Can't
wrong.
complain.
yeah. So
And
it's
their turnaround time's amazing.
turnaround time's awesome. And to get a Shoei helmet for like 30% off, Daniel, you know as well as I do how hard that is.
That is very hard.
Hit up the boys there, motoheaven.com.au, and they will sort you out.
Very good. And guys, Patreon, we had a really, really fun episode.
Oh, yeah,
last
go check
week.
it out.
And,
Far out.
And quite on topic as well, which we won't give too much away. Please subscribe to that. It helps us bring more and more content to the viewer.
Make Honda great again.
Make Honda great again. And Daniel, YouTube.
Yeah, as always, like, comment, subscribe, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Patreon. The more you get around us, the better it is for us as well.
More content we can put out.
That's exactly right. Just makes it easier for us and hopefully full time for us as well.
Yeah.
That's the goal, and we're getting there. Not to
Slowly.
toot our own horn, but we're getting there.
Yeah, definitely.
And people like Adrian, honestly, shout out to him. I know we harp on about, but he's been a massive help for him from Moto Heaven.
Yeah, even Luke and Christian at Benzino have been amazing for us.
Definitely,
it's a real turnaround since we've come in here,
yeah.
We've had
which
some
put
great
us
people.
on to Adrian as well. So
Yeah.
the more you know.
Yeah, it is. It's cool.
Results?
Oscar Piastri, Charles Leclerc, George Russell were your top 3. Lando Norris, Max Verstappen, Fernando Alonso, Alex Albon, Franco Colapinto, Lewis Hamilton, and Oliver Behrman.
Can I
Round out
just
the 10.
can I just say that was one of the best motorsport races I've ever watched. I've almost never been so excited. I've never been so excited to watch a Formula One race.
Yeah.
The skills that Piastri and Leclerc raced with, them sliding around the corners. You could
Oh, how
openly
good was
see
it?
them sliding around corners.
Yeah.
They were so on the edge. I was so excited to watch it. Obviously, that adds a little bit more excitement because I love Piastri and I love Charles as well. They're probably my two favorite drivers. But even if it wasn't that, like it was
Just a
two
good
other,
race.
it was incredible. They were so on the edge. They weren't scared. They were having moves against each other. There was a lot of defending. There's a lot of cat and mouse of the pit games as well. Like it was incredible. And Formula One, I've always been a fan, but like I am so hooked right now. And the racing there, which 18 laps in didn't look like it was going to be that great, but man, shout out to them. It was
Changes pretty quickly.
it does, and it just showed me how good these drivers are, because it just sometimes F1 can look like it's just they're on rails, and it not I'm going to say boring, but it can be boring, but it just looks like they're just going through the motions. Where that race, you could tell they were on the edge and they weren't going through the motions.
What made it so special as well is that track is just incredible. Like those 90-degree,
It's a great track.
90-degree
it is.
left-handers, right-handers. People don't understand how hard that track is.
No room for error.
And it's
None at all.
it's a mixture of like that old town and then new town.
Yeah.
It's really interesting how the different sectors have different roads. That castle section, you could fit like a one Formula One car plus a little bit through that, like insane. And man, what did we witness last night? That was just an incredible performance from Piastri to keep him behind that long at that end of the race, and arguably had the fastest car, Leclerc, through the whole weekend. Just one of those, and it's one of those performances we're going to look back on, in years to come. I think of like Leclerc back 2019.
Yep.
Monza. That's something that I will never forget, that performance. And this is up there with that. Like, just incredible.
Yeah. Oscar Piastri is definitely our performance of the week, that's for sure.
Yes.
The maturity in that drive, and look, obviously we're all going to be a bit biased because he's Aussie, but if it was any other rookie at the same time, or second year in, I should say, it's pretty incredible. And like you can see now that people are getting around him, and just to hold on from Leclerc being on his ass that whole time. It's the pressure on a track where you can't make a mistake as well. And then, to get that, build it back up to 5-6 tenths going down the straight, so then he can't get the, the slipstream and obviously the DRS and everything past him it was a sight to behold.
I guess it really shows the hype of Oscar Piastri from when he was meant to come
Do you
in.
know what it reminded me of? Is like when you would watch something Ayrton Senna would say, and that's like real driving. For me, that was real driving, wasn't it?
It was amazing. It was, as you said, it was really mature, and I think it just showed a whole heap of class. To be able to do everything that you just said, with great opposition and a very fast car behind you.
And his interview after the race, he's like, "Oh, that was probably one of the most stressful afternoons I've ever had in my life."
And he's just like,
and then the cool down room, he's like, "Oh God, how good's that?" Oh, he's just like such a nerd. He's just so. And it's funny. I mean, they were comparing him to
Kimi Raikkonen.
Yeah, they were, but more like to Ricardo and to Weber. And they're like, "Oh, Aussies are all like this." No, they're not usually. They're not like hotheads, It was so. He's such an interesting guy, and how. Going back to the race, Leclerc opened a 5 or 6 second lead, and just looked so comfortable.
It was paying $1.01. He was going to win that
Yeah,
race.
and then he just somehow crept up in that second stint, and then that pass, man. Like, I don't think we can appreciate how far that was back. And in the cool down room, Leclerc said that was the latest I could have braked. I couldn't have braked any later than that. And Oscar's probably braked 20 meters later. Put it up the inside, and he goes, it was a 50-50 chance I was making that corner. So, and good on him, man. Like, he had a bit of pressure from him coming into the race, where this whole thing with
All his
McLaren,
background
you got to
noise.
pull over for Lando.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then he comes out and wins the race. I mean, like,
which, funnily enough, Lando backed up. Was it Checo for a little bit to help him
he
out?
did.
So
That was good.
yeah.
That was good.
Yeah, I think if he didn't do that, the result would have been completely different.
yeah, 100%. It would have changed the game. Guys, we've got a fantastic offer coming to you for this month and this month only. 15% off Pirelli tyres at motoheaven.com.au. Now, our friends are running this awesome deal on the Super Corsa V4s, the Rosso Corsa 4, the Rosso 4, and the Angel GT2. Wild, because Pirelli barely goes on sale. And to get 15% off is mind-boggling, in all honesty.
Huge.
It's crazy.
It is.
Guys, you never pay full price at Motor Heaven.
It's the best.
All orders over $100, free shipping. Amazing.
It is. It's great. And they literally have the best website in the country. It's so easy to use. They're unbiased. You can get any brand you want. They'll send it out. It is amazing. They've got parts finders, tyre finders. Go to motoheaven.com.au. You can grab whatever you want. Shoei helmets, AGVs, Dyne Easy, Alpine Stars. They literally have it up. Chains, sprockets, whatever you want for your bike. KX250, R1, motoheaven.com.au. Go check it out.
Best in the business,
Best in the
guys.
business.
We love it.
Business.
We love it.
But it's funny, like, Oscar's only 30 points behind Lando.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's just say, hypothetically, Lando has an accident with Max or whoever fighting for the lead. Oscar comes through, wins another race. Who do you favour then?
Well, it can change.
Do you know what I mean? Like, this is what
Yeah.
you and I had this point last time
Yeah.
we spoke about this. The team order thing now is just bullshit. There's, 7 races to go still?
Yeah, it's changed.
It's still anyone's game.
And you're 100% right in, talking about the papaya rules and everything like that, which makes it so much more juicy. The last thing McLaren and Lando needed was Lando to not get through to Q2
and
Oscar to win.
Start, yeah.
And one of the best wins you can have as a Formula One
And Lando
racer.
was lucky to get up to fourth. If Sainz and
yeah.
Perez didn't
They didn't
collide
come together.
And
That's right.
But how's Norris's performance? I mean, that was pretty stunning.
He carved through.
And he comes
He
and
did.
passes Verstappen.
He did, yeah.
Like that Red Bull is in struggle town. But then you look at Perez and he had a good weekend. So it's one of those weird things.
How
But
do you-
typically,
yeah.
like street tracks, though, doesn't he?
Yeah, but fuck, he
like
hasn't
that.
done anything all year.
Yeah,
like
I
he's
know,
done
but still.
nothing, like since the very first
And
race.
out-qualified Verstappen as
Yeah.
well.
First time since like 2022, was it? Or
yeah,
something like that. Wild.
Yep.
Yeah.
What's the go there? Why is he...
I don't know, James. I don't know. I
Fighting for his
think
seat.
he's very, very, very. I think Verstappen's very unhappy in this car. I think he likes a very twitchy, over grippy, oversteery car, and it's the opposite of that. You heard that on the radio that it wasn't biting, where it just wasn't getting the front end grip. So it's just I think they've gone to obviously down a different route, and since Newey's gone, they just haven't. They haven't got that Verstappen. I think what Newey can do is he can take one driver and say, I'm going to design a car around you, like he did with Vettel, like he's done in the past with Senna and et cetera, et cetera. And it's just gone a different direction. I solely reckon that's the reason.
How can they be so much worse than when they were 3 months ago?
I don't think they're that much worse. I think
Everyone's caught up.
everyone's got so much better.
Yeah, okay. It's a good way of looking
And
at
what
it.
happens is, like, you're pushing the car harder, worse tyre wear, everything just multiplies.
Yeah, you're overdriving it.
Yeah. I mean, they went faster. Interestingly, though, the pole lap was 1.2 seconds slower this year than it was last year,
Yeah, okay. That's
which they
interesting.
normally develop the cars and they go faster and faster. But must have been track conditions, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Shout out to Williams as well.
Yeah,
Colin
great.
Pinto, man.
Yeah. Argentinian.
Argentina, I mean, they're double points. I mean,
What's going on there?
you just have to look at Colin Pinto's qualifying result and how amazing that is. That's such a
Yeah.
hard track as well. Like,
He did really well, didn't he?
man, he's debuted at Monza, which probably one of the easiest tracks on the calendar,
Yeah.
and these two races coming up with Azerbaijan and Singapore, so super tough tracks. So for him to put it on to out-qualify Albon, controversial circumstances with Williams leaving the
Fan.
Oh, yeah.
box, but amazing performance. His second F1 race, super difficult track, and shout out to Behrman as well. He put it in the points, and the first driver to score points for two different teams in his first two races. There's a stat for you, Daniel
That's
Brishkali.
wild.
Yeah.
I like that.
How
So
would
sorry
You
to
go,
cut
you
you
go,
off
you
real
go.
quick. What happened to Kevin Magnussen?
He got a race ban.
Too many points on the
2
license
points
or
on the
whatever?
super license.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But that's good. Like these young kids
like
come
it,
through, and Colapinto, amazing performance. Bro, that shows you how bad Sargent is, by the way.
I was going to say, exactly right. He must be looking at that through just freaking out.
Bro, his second race, he out-qualifies Albon, but gets into Q3, where I don't think Sargent ever got to Q3. In his 2 years he was here.
Sargent couldn't go turn right. He didn't turn left.
But, yeah, I mean, yeah. But just a great... And Williams up there, I mean, they've got a bit of a selection headache for next year now.
Who's signed for them so far?
Carlos Sainz and Albon.
Oh, yeah.
So Colapinto is going to have... It looks like he's a star. I mean, I know we're on 2 races here, but he's not going to be able to fit into a team next year. So, very interesting.
They do like... And I guess GP is the same. They do like holding on to the old heads, F1, don't they?
They do. Yeah, and that's... You know what? That's been more apparent probably in the last 5 years than it was ever.
Well, the risk is so huge. You can either get maybe someone like a Colapinto, maybe, or you get a fucking... restarted Logan Sargent.
Restarted or retarded?
That was the joke. I didn't want to say retarded, but you exploded.
Are we allowed one of them, or?
I can say as many times as you want. It's our podcast, mate.
Just on that though, is that because of is there? Let me recap. Was there a lack of talent coming up as well?
Yeah, there probably was. But it's just like you got Hamilton who's 40. You got Alonso who's 40. Yep. You've got
Sainz is 1,000 years old.
Sainz is 34. I mean, like these. It's probably the average age at the moment is probably the highest it's ever been.
Yeah. Okay.
So it is interesting how they've gone down that path. And yeah, you're right with GP. They seem to keep the older heads more than getting a young buck in. But man, seeing Colapinto, Ollie Behrman with Hamilton behind fighting for the thing, like that was awesome to see, and I love that. And you need that young youth in coming through. It makes it so much more exciting.
I get it how it can be a risk, and there's so much in stake. You get a Logan Sargent that destroys a car for new upgrades.
Same with Mick Schumacher. Mick Schumacher had so many accidents for Haas.
So it is a risk, but then you're also getting a younger set of eyes looking at how they could improve the car, what they can do. Right. So it's still, it can go either way. It's just you got to be very good at finding that talent, I guess. How did Logan Sargent get the drive? Is it just a token American?
Right, he won the F2 championship. This is what's so crazy. It's like Moto2, like Tito Rabat.
He is maybe the Tito Rabat of maybe Logan Sargent is the Tito Rabat.
He's a Rabat watch. Rabat watch.
Did he just do 1,000 laps of Indianapolis and that's all he did? Like Tito Rabat?
Yeah, I don't know. It is incredible that a driver can be so good in that category. And the cars are very similar in F2. But Ollie Behrman really, but that Colapinto, I mean, like, to be honest with you, I knew nothing about this kid before he signed for Williams a race ago. I knew nothing. I didn't really see him in F2. Didn't really have that good of results. But yeah, he just came in and he's done really well. And I don't think we can't underestimate how good that drive was. Again, super tough track as we've touched on.
Yeah, that was amazing. It was just an incredible race. I really can't get over it.
So where are we looking towards the end of the year? Do you think Lando's going to just come good and he's going to start winning some races? Do you think Ferrari's now...
Ferrari's looking really good. They're looking really good. And it's exciting. And it's exciting as Ferrari and McLaren are two old foes going up against each other again.
Well, like I said to you on the phone today as well, like it was interesting times this race. You had Perez up there, you had Piastri up there, and then the 3 big dogs, Norris, Hamilton, Verstappen, all nowhere.
Yeah, the commentators are getting confused, remember? When they were passing each other.
Oh, we'll touch on the commentary soon. Oh, yeah, it's fucking hard with that Martin Brundle there.
Yeah, it is.
Super, super hard. And having them not both there for a race was tough. They did a good job. Our boy Karun Chandok did a really good job. Harry Benjamin was getting super excited, for not a lot of reason at the start of the race. But
I guess he's got to build up that.
Yeah, it's a tough gig. Yeah, it's just an interesting time in Formula One.
Yeah, look,
the season's going to go in 3 stages. I think the first third of the year, Red Bull. Middle part of the year, McLaren. At the end of the year, I think Ferrari are going to come good.
That's cool.
It'd be awesome if it does.
But Sainz crashing out is really going to cost some points for the constructors because that's getting super close. And McLaren has taken that lead now and with 2 very good drivers, so that's going to be really, really hard to chase down.
It's just going to be interesting to see if Piastri and Lando take points off each other. But it'll be, I don't know, if just say Verstappen wins the title, he limps home to win the title, is it? I'm not going to say it's the most undeserving, but is it the most underwhelming victory?
Yeah, you're probably right.
Depends how it plays out.
Like if he's just getting sixes, but then
Oh yeah, if he's literally
limping.
just-
limping to the
no,
line.
then it's just like whatever.
It's usually the other way around in Formula One. It's usually someone coming over the top. It's very rare that someone hangs on for the win.
It looks like that's going to be the case, I reckon.
Well, bro, Singapore this weekend is probably Red Bull's worst circuit on the calendar.
Yeah, true.
You got to remember last year what happened.
Sainz won last year, didn't he?
Yeah, Ferrari looked really strong. But that's the other thing where you talk about points getting taken off. Ferrari going to take points off Lando, vice versa. And
right.
I do still think Verstappen will limp over and win the title.
God, who knows?
He was amazing in Vegas last year, Verstappen. He had a broken front wing. It was so much faster than everyone else.
But it's amazing how it can just change so quickly. It's ridiculous. We were just talking about how the dude wasn't going to lose, and now we're talking about how he might not win. He might lose, and every race I don't know who's going to win now, which is awesome. And like, is Lando going to catch it? What's the points? What are we doing on the points?
So Verstappen is 350 or something, 260.
I'll get that real quick.
You got it.
He's
Cody?
winning by about 60 points.
So Max Verstappen's at 313 points.
313.
313. Norris is at 254. Leclerc's at 235. Oscar Piastri at 222. And Sainz is at 184.
Yeah, okay.
Sainz is out of it, but I just...
Well, you never know.
You
Like,
never
that's
know,
right.
man.
Charles can.
There's a few sprint races as well towards the end of the year, so
that
I think
helps.
that helps.
If we are looking at constructors, McLaren's at 476.
They're looking good,
Red
aren't they?
Bull's at 456.
Yeah, they had a big points haul. Big
They're
points
looking
haul.
good. Yeah, I don't know. Charles can steam her home as well, but
Yeah.
I imagine that for the sport.
yeah, that's a really good thing for the sport.
You know, it's in a good spot though, and probably for the first time in a while.
Well, the other
Formula
thing
One's
is-
in a good spot.
Oh, man, like, it's the first time since 2012 that there's been, like, 4 multiple winners. So, you know, Verstappen's won more than 2 races. Piastri, Norris, Hamilton. Like, it's pretty crazy what's happened this year. And I remember watching that 2012 season, which has probably been the most open season in history. That's when it was very even, and then Red Bull just came over the top of them at the end of the year and won. Like, I think Vettel won like 5. I'm going to get fact check on this, but like the last 5 races or something like
Yeah,
that.
okay,
So
right.
that's when Alonso was fighting for the championship, and they were purposely giving Massa like a grid penalty so that then Alonso would move up one grid spot.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
how funny!
Yeah, this is Formula One though. That's what it's
That's how
always
they
been like.
operate.
They just
Yeah.
bend the rules to
Yeah.
their advantage, can't they?
Crashgate.
Crash.
Yeah, Flavio Briatore. That was
Your
funny.
mate.
Oh, that was so funny.
So the last 7 rounds, he had 4 wins on the trot.
Yeah, and then
Sebastian, and then he had 3rd, 2nd, and 6th in Brazil.
that's the famous last race when I was at schoolies.
What happened there? Go on,
Well, I nearly got
arrested.
arrested, and then wrong person. Went up and watched the last race. Vettel gets turned around on the 3rd corner. He's got to finish in the top 7, and he finishes 6. Comes back through the field.
So how'd you nearly get arrested? I want to know that.
I don't know. I just got chased down by the cops. I was doing nothing wrong. I was trying to get back to the hotel to watch the F1. So I was like
Sweating?
not running, but a little canter.
Glasses fogging up.
Glasses. No glasses back then.
Oh, nah.
Nah.
That was later in
I
life.
partied too hard. That's why my eyesight's fucked.
The result of MDMA.
Nah, none of that, James. Come on, it's
Yeah,
a
come on,
family-friendly podcast.
Yeah. Yucky, Jimmy. And then got chased down by a couple of blue people and
Smurfs.
little Smurfy werfs. But then let me go. I sweet talked them. You know what I'm saying?
Sorry,
Did you chat up the female officer?
Yeah, she wanted to come
got
to the
her
room.
number.
She wanted to come to the room. I said no. We're gonna watch the F1s, bruh.
Use the handcuffs for something else.
Yeah. Oh, true. Fucking hell.
I'll
I
get
suppose
it
if you're
going.
into that.
That's
But yeah, back
funny.
on the commentary. So Harry Benjamin and Karun Chandok did the fill-in because
Yep.
Crofty got married.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, I
I've seen
saw
that.
that.
And
yeah.
Brundle, I think, traditionally has that round off because, like, traveling to Azerbaijan, no offense, there's probably not a lot to do there. So, like,
Yeah, wouldn't
it'll
they?
just be a fly in, fly
I
out.
don't even
Like,
know where it is.
I think it's in the Middle East, but it's like more of that European, like, bit more caramel, I suppose.
Is
but-
it more like
Caramel.
Dagestan? Dagestan?
No, it's
anyway?
not like the Kazakhstan. It's south of that. Can you get it up on the map there for us there, Curdy? You're saying what it's bordering?
I think Daniel's
It's
got it.
bordering Armenia
Oh, really? System of a Down.
and Georgia.
Yeah, so it's more that Middle East country, but it's like
It's like an oil country.
It's not
It's
isn't it?
outside of Turkey.
It's not deserty though. Well,
Yeah.
by the looks of things. But isn't that crazy? That old town is like 1,000-year-old castles, and then the new town's like skyscrapers. Like it's the most wild place.
Yeah, it's cool.
Most wild place. And they actually pre-race entertainment. They actually did a really good job. They had the DJ there.
They were struggling to hear when they were doing all the interviews and shit, but
Yeah, well, it is what it is. Can't have everything, can you?
nah.
Can't have everything, Jimbo. But yeah, boys, interesting take. Sky Sports did a really cool like pre-race thing on Lando. So they're like saying there's like the tyrants in the sport. You know, you have Verstappens. They call them the pirates.
Yeah.
So you got Verstappen, you got Schumacher, you got Senna. Just like the will to win. And they're like, does Lando have that extra CUNT?
They've been listening to us.
100%.
Fuck, so we've been talking about it for the past 3 weeks.
The number one motorsport podcast.
I told you, that's a fucking tongue twister.
the
number one-
Republica.
Number one motorsport podcast in the world. But really interesting take. And like, it was interesting. They were interviewing some drivers. They said, no, he is a pirate. Like he is, you know, but it's interesting from an outside. Like
Doesn't look like it.
doesn't look
Yeah,
like
not
it.
at all.
And it might come from his privileged background. Like the guy was, you know, to a certain extent spoon-fed his whole life. Very rich family.
I think you've got to be, though, to be in F1. I think they all are, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, probably now, yeah. I mean, you look back in the day, I mean, they
Different back in the day.
different
yeah.
back in the day. Yeah, you got the sponsorship was like the number one thing. I know that for a fact Ollie Behrman's family don't look, you know, like they're struggling. So Colapinto,
Rich sport, man.
Apparently he signed for Williams, and Williams got like, you know, $50 million in sponsors. So that tells you a few things. But do you think he has what it takes? Like, do you think he has that extra percent that's going to be a world champion? I mean,
Well, he
that could
would've-
be like that could be where Oscar's probably has that mental edge, you know.
Well, Oscar, like, who knows? He's only won 2 races as well, but
They've both only won 2 races this year, though. People forget that.
true.
Yeah.
That's a
They
good
both
point.
only won 2 races.
That's a good point. But it seems like Oscar, like, he just gets on with the job
yeah.
no matter what. If he just gets told to do it, he'll do it. Where I think you see a lot more. This is just from the outside, obviously, but you just see a lot more carry on from Lando
Yeah.
if it doesn't
agree.
go his way. Like, you know, he after Monza, they're talking about papaya rules and should be helping him, but just cover the inside, bro. Like, it's still a race. Like,
right.
just because he's your number 2 doesn't mean he's gonna just let you pass every single time. That's what
You
fucking
can't slow
grinds my
down.
gears.
I would have loved to see Webber got on the radio like after the win and say not bad for a number 2 driver.
Yeah,
Well, they
that's-
said that in commentary.
That would have been ice cold, man. That would
that
have
would
been
have
sick.
been.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like Oscar's personality is just so not Formula One.
But it doesn't seem like anything phases him. He reminds me a little bit of Bagnaia, switching
Yeah.
codes for a second, where it just
BB, yeah.
you can just nothing phases him.
He's even probably
Bit-
more,
bit-
he's even more ice cold than Bags though. That's the other thing. Like he's like no one I've ever seen in my life.
a
This
bit
guy.
Kimmy-esque.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
People have been saying is
You know,
Kimmy,
just
even the
from
way
the-
he talks.
Yeah. He's just he's just such a nerd. Like he nearly slipped over his car, and like when he's in his celebration, he's like. And I'm like, it's like a touch of like the autism. Yeah, it's like it's just something in there. Like I don't know what he's had with cereal, but
Nah,
like
it's
Water's different over in Brighton.
Nah, it's a Diet Coke when they're pregnant with a kid.
Yeah.
Creates autism.
yeah, 30% more chance they say.
God,
It's true.
only you guys would know that.
Not 11,
But
bro.
looking from the outside,
No Pentagon plane went to the Pentagon, bro. Nah, you didn't see it.
what am I doing here?
I don't know, bro.
The Jibber Jews fucking weren't flying the planes in, mate.
Oh, pal.
Sorry, I'm done.
Yeah.
I can't even remember what I was going to say now.
Well, I wanted to talk to you guys about McLaren's alleged illegal rear wing. So I saw some footage today. They're going down the straight, and you can see gaps in the DRS opening. So they're talking about a flexi wing, which is a very much an illegal thing. But the thing is, it passes all the tests. Okay, so when they go and test this thing, it passes all the tests. At high load, you can see the flap slightly opening. Is that illegal, or is that just great innovation?
Well, if it passes a test, it passes a
That's
test.
right.
Isn't it?
It's just the way, you know.
It-
It's just aerodynamics of a car, I guess. and
Yeah.
The way stuff flexes under pressure and load.
And
Yeah.
I guess they're trying to get it as close to the point of being illegal as they can.
Yeah, you're
And
always
they're
gonna
probably
go to
just
the
on
line.
They're on the line.
You know, grey area.
Grey area. It's interesting, and like you saw, it's such interesting footage though because they're going around the fast corners. It's shut, And then as the load gets higher and higher and higher down the straight, you can just see a little tiny flap opening. So it's interesting to see if that's if it's going to pass the rules in the coming races, because they're just trying to find every little advantage at the moment because it's so tight. Yeah, like it's just crazy how this is happening. I really do believe that Red Bull were told or asked to take something off their car, and that's why the performance hasn't been as good. Because yes, we talk about the other teams getting better, like we have before in the pod, but there has been definitely a drop off in race pace, definitely, and one lap performance as well. It's just
it's really died down.
Well, if Perez is out qualifying Verstappen, I mean, there's something seriously wrong there.
Yeah.
There's something seriously wrong. He's done nothing he's done nothing all year, Perez, and now he's out qualified Verstappen. And there was no reason behind it. There's no blocking. There was no yellow flag incident. It was just a raw pace thing. So,
what do you think that's going to happen with Lando? We didn't ask you for the rest of this year. Like, do you think he can steamroll the championship?
I reckon he'll win 2 more races, and I think it'll just be a fight between Ferrari, McLaren, Mercedes. I think are done.
Yeah, they didn't show much.
I think Mercedes are done. I think they're concentrating on their new car now for next year. I think that's it. But it's those 3 big teams, and like. It's just going to get juicier and juicier. How exciting is it? Like, how excited are you to watch it?
It's so exciting. And it's interesting. Like, I guess I've been harping on a lot about Lando, but like, I hate it when people just second drivers or second riders. Like, I can't stand that. Like, just race.
Yeah.
But he's getting a lot of hate for that. And you said that today when we were talking.
Well,
he's lost a lot of fans.
It's hard with Lando because he's trying to sit on the fence with this, where he's trying to say, oh, yeah, like I don't want to be like given the championship, but then I need help as well. Like McLaren have just dug themselves a hole in this.
They're making themselves look stupid. It is maybe more of a McLaren issue than a Lando issue, I guess. But Lando's taking the fucking brunt of it.
Yeah, but even still, like, grab it by the balls and own it.
Yeah.
Well, just say, like, all right, I'm going to win it. I'm closer than what he is, and just fucking back me.
I'm the fucking man, and I'll do it, and I'll cover the fucking inside next time.
100%.
But going back to this,
don't say, oh, I've left a fucking door open. He shouldn't go past, because that's ridiculous.
Yeah, well, that's right.
That's what pisses me off.
Get out of the sport. That's racing.
Yeah.
But going back to
I'll
this,
take the cunt out next time. Seriously. C word. Oh, no, we had one.
Going back to this, I'll have to settle him down over here. Just get the mood back in check. So just going back to this whole pirate or we're talking about peacemaker. This is the thing they're saying that the whole McLaren team is peacemaker. And you never win world championships being a peacemaker.
No, you got to be a
You got to be
pirate,
ruthless.
man.
That's the thing.
You got to be a pirate. Like, you can't ask for help, because all the greats just push their way through, and if they got to take someone out, they will. They'll be the bad guy, and sometimes the bad guy's loved, like a Valentino Rossi, or the bad guy's fucking hated, like a Marc Marquez.
The heel.
Exactly, a baby face or a heel wrestling term. But it's true, isn't it?
You're 100% right, man.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're Stone Cold Steve Austin, and sometimes you're Vince McMahon.
Yeah. But that's what makes the show so good, doesn't it? So.
Exactly. And that's what makes the show so good. I think Lando just needs to find himself almost, and I guess being the pirate or the peacemaker. And I think you just got to be.
He's got to make up his mind.
You got to be the douchebag.
Yeah. What was that? What did someone say? They're like, y'all think Oscar should be like Bottas, but Lando's not like Hamilton.
Yeah.
That was the big thing that I was saying. Like, look,
It's true though.
they're so.
But if
even.
Lando keeps, if he just keeps carrying on, then Oscar's just going to turn into the pirate, and he'll just dominate it. Because he's a bit of a Brad Johnson, a smiling assassin.
I reckon you're being a bit harsh on Lando. I think he is stuck between a rock and a hard place at the moment.
He is.
Yeah.
He is.
He's tried his best to be this guy that everyone loves.
He just made
But
few
don't worry about
comments.
that. If he's more worried about being someone that's loved in the public eye, then step away and do something else. Because if you're there to win, you're there to win.
Yeah.
And if you're perceived as a prick, bad luck.
Yeah.
I think
At least
he needs that though. He
Exactly
needs to be
right.
that little bit of
And
a.
I think as well, because he's got all these little teeny fans and shit like that. I don't know if that's crossing his mind, but like, you just got to be the dick.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, and you're gonna make more money probably out of it anyway. You're still gonna get your endorsements.
You'll get more people that want to endorse you.
Yeah.
Because you're the face, you're the champion.
And if you've got enough charisma around this, Daniel, then you can still be the dick and be loved.
That's what I'm saying. It's not about being a dick, like his personality, in the sense of own it.
Yeah.
Own the fact that you're better or you think you're better. Take it by the balls, go for gold, and then people just jump on board.
After Hungary,
Like,
he
they
should have
might hate
come
you-
out.
Yeah, they might
He
hate
should
you
have
for
come out
being-
and said, I should have won that race for the
100%.
championship. And then it would have just been, McLaren would have folded, and then they would have been a completely different
But
last three
then you
races.
know exactly right. You know exactly where you stand.
Yeah, but
Did Michael Schumacher ever admit fault to anything?
No?
Exactly right.
Come on, man.
Even if he took someone out and he was like, nah, he turned in on me.
yeah, but this is where we're sort of contradicting ourselves to a certain extent because Barrichello moved over every time he was asked to move over.
Yeah, but that was not...
Barrichello ain't Michael Schumacher either. He ain't a world champion.
No, but we're comparing the two here.
Yeah, but I'm
saying-
sure Michael didn't ask for that to happen.
Oh, who knows, man? Who knows what happened behind closed doors? But what we're saying is, yes, he's got to be more cunty, but then we're also saying, well, you can't move over. Oh, sorry.
Or whatever.
No, it's got the Y on it, so we're allowed one of that.
yeah.
But then we don't want the team to favour him either. So this is why it's between a rock and a hard place.
It is.
So like
But what my issue is just all the comments he's
no,
making.
your issue is you hate Lando.
Fair, but
Yeah, I don't like him. Sorry.
No, it's fine, and we can all have opinions. It's good.
But
And
if he came out and just owned it and was just a dick on the track and just made his moves, I'll respect
there's
that
one
more.
guarantee: he has come into this season and won races, but he's lost fans.
Yeah, well,
He would have more fans at the start of the season than he will at the end of the season. That's a guarantee.
yeah, but if he's got bigger issues, if he's worried about how many fans he's got over winning a Formula One championship,
just win the races, man. Be the villain.
that's what I'm saying. You
And
know,
get him a bet. I've got you for winning 5 races. I'm going to win $1,000. So win those fucking 3 more races, you fucking dog.
you just said he's only going to win 2.
Yeah, I know. I think I'm going to miss out on my bet because everything revolves around me, Daniel. So I guess I put this bet on.
Hopefully he pays you back.
Everything will happen. Then it won't. I will not win the bet. So, yeah.
Gamble responsibly.
We're being inundated with messages about betting. Our betting segment that I
Yeah,
threw up a
true.
few weeks ago. But yeah, I mean, we're just going through the legalities of that, and the sponsors have to sign off on that one as well. So
I tell you what, it gets me fired up talking about this.
that's
though.
good though. I love motorsport. It's the best. It's the best.
Gotta know your place, know your role.
And so good seeing Gito S get rolled after winning the loose.
Oh, don't even go there, bro. I want to flip the table.
Yeah, that was so annoying.
Joe Danaher, what a dud.
Yeah, fucking age.
But yeah, Constructors Championship, that's going to go down
It's
to the
heating up,
wire.
man.
That's really exciting. And like, as we know, as you always harp on, it's the most important thing for the teams money-wise. And so that's going to be an interesting thing going to the end of the year. Midfield as well. Williams, Haas.
Yeah, they're all duking it
They're
out.
all fighting for those extra points. It's so important to get this extra money. So
Extra money, yeah.
so that's the big thing. Now we haven't really spoken about this, but like, what did you guys think of the Sainz Perez incident? Any faults there, or do you reckon racing incident?
I don't know. It was really hard to tell, wasn't it?
It was the biggest F1 lobby crash, as it's called. Puppy commented. Like, it was,
I didn't
that's-
say that. That's good.
yeah, that is like the biggest F1 lobby thing to happen. Is just you touch wheels and both go into the wall, like
It
on
looked-
the straight.
From the onboard, especially on Carlos's onboard, it didn't look like he had moved the steering wheel at all.
It's
But it's so hard to tell.
And
man.
Perez,
I couldn't tell.
and the other thing is when you are in that situation, I don't know from F1 lobby, is you try to push the driver to the inside as much as possible
course.
because in the braking area it becomes harder. So he would have moved over slowly, which you're allowed to do. Perez had heaps of room on the
ample room.
inside, so. And then probably Perez was trying to get slightly into that slipstream as well. It's just a racing incident.
He just went too hard into that corner before Sainz, and he just lost all that drive coming out.
Bro,
That's what cost him.
Sainz did
Yeah.
a stupid move where he went back to the outside before the corner. He should have
Yes,
stayed on
he
the
just-
inside, would have had Leclerc slipstream plus DRS, and he would have kept that position. There would have been no incident. They would have had a double fucking points,
Podium.
double podium finish. And that's good for the Constructors' Championship, Daniele.
Well, 100%. It would have helped them a lot more. But you win some, you lose some.
Yeah, racing is just 2 drivers, I guess, going for
Not
same
for the
line.
same thing.
It's
It's
a-
good to see a 4-way fight for the for the
And
win.
3 different
Crazy.
teams as well, which is awesome.
Oh, that is the most craziest thing about this.
and
is
it's good to see.
those 3
Just for
teams.
my tism, it's nice to see 3 different teams,
different
Yeah.
colours and
different
stuff.
colours. Yeah, it's true, but
True that, yeah. It's in such a good place, and it's going to bring people back to the sport because they would have lost some fans last year with Red Bull winning every race bar one. So, yeah, it's going to be even harder to get tickets to the Australian Grand Prix next year.
We're covered, but
Yeah, good old Joey.
easy
Thanks.
money. Thanks, GP.
Best in the biz.
Yeah.
I'm done for F1, Jimmy. If you got anything else for us?
No, that's it. Just Lando Norris, grow some balls.
So we're going to get into
Daniel will back me up on that.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, no, I
that's
agree
why
with you as well. I agree with you as well. He needs to come out and he can't play both sides.
Nah, just be the villain.
Yeah.
Yeah, we always say, look at the great champions.
They're all villains.
They own it.
They're all
You know?
villains. They're all villains.
Look
What champion is not a villain besides one me?
Yeah.
And Nicky Hayden.
Asterix,
And Nicky Hayden.
Asterix as well.
Come on, bro.
It's true, but you got to be the villain.
Yeah.
Let's say multiple times.
Yeah, multiple world champions. They're the aliens of the sport, I suppose.
Yeah, that's right.
They're all hated to a certain extent.
Bro, we talk about it, but it's some of the best footage you're ever going to see is when Mick Doohan punts Crivier off.
Oh.
The Spanish wanted to hang him.
Yeah.
And he was laughing it up on the podium, laughing in their faces.
It is so good.
And the Spanish would laugh at that now, and they'd love that.
The
Nah,
respect,
they still hate
but
that, I reckon.
No, you reckon?
Oh, yeah, they loved Crivier, man.
They did, but you got to he gets the respect.
He wouldn't
Yeah,
get
100%,
He wouldn't
yeah.
get booed in Spain, sure.
No
Mick
fucking
Doohan,
way.
no
No
way.
way. He's a legend. Yeah, I think he's got a corner named after him in
He
Rose.
does.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Talk
where
about
he punted Crivier.
villain behaviour though. Marc Marquez punts Jorge Lorenzo off in Jorge Lorenzo corner. The weekend he gets caught Jorge Lorenzo corner. That's villain behaviour.
But that's like Alex Marquez doing it to Jack.
Exactly,
Same thing.
yeah,
Doing corner. See you later, bro. Go sit with your family. I'm pretty sure that's what he said in his helmet. If they had intercom, you'd hear it.
This might lead us into Moto Heaven Dick of the Week, James.
You guys are fucking cooked.
No, I'm letting you. And it's not Motor Heaven. It's Sexy Heaven Dick of the Week.
Yes, too.
Not to be confused.
Okay, so this is controversial, and it's not from one of us. It's Curdy actually brought this one up.
Don't bullshit. This is all you.
Dick of the Week, Valentino Rossi.
Ooh, Pino's not going to be happy with this.
Peter, I love you. It is interesting comments on the podcast. Very interesting comments.
Shout out to, is it Mega Bowl? It's called?
What?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Big bubble.
Are we talking about the NBA?
Why'd you say bye?
Very interesting comments. Now, before we even talk about this, we have to. We have a podcast, okay? Things that we say can get misconstrued, like that.
We have the #1 motorsport podcast in the world.
The other thing is you got to remember that it is in Italian, so things get translated.
Yeah,
But-
Google Translate isn't the best thing ever. So
Talk to us some of the comments that were made, James.
Well, I guess the comments that were made, and look, I haven't listened to. I don't speak Italian, so I don't listen to it. And this segment, I guess, is a bit tongue in cheek at the same time.
Of course it is. Yeah.
It's a little tongue in cheek.
Valentino Rossi has done more for the sport than anyone else in the world. We can all agree on that.
I
yeah,
guess
absolutely.
100%.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm 1,000,000% positive.
Curdy, what do you got?
Mate, they can butter up the audience as much as they can, but whenever you have a sentence and it ends with "but," everything they said beforehand fucking means nothing.
It's true.
Go.
That's
Sorry
a good
about the
point.
language on that one, guys.
I guess what the people, it wasn't, I guess, the words that were said, it was more the rehashing of old news. But to his defense, he's the one getting asked the questions and he's just talking about it. Now, I guess he outlined a few things that were maybe people didn't know. Like apparently, again, I'm just going off my memory and what I remember this. Marquez said to him behind closed doors that he'll make sure he won't win the championship or whatever it is like that.
So
he's the dirtiest racer.
Yeah. So a couple of
whatever.
comments that people haven't heard. So translated. Marquez, the dirtiest rider in history of MotoGP, and also spent the most amount in the gravel trap of any other MotoGP rider.
He's not far off that bar, let's be honest.
But it's interesting that he has rehashed old news on this, and
But that's the
it's
beauty.
causing a big stir in
It is.
the motorcycle industry.
It is,
isn't
but you know what? It's the beauty of podcasts is it gets people talking, and
Yeah.
it's cool to see, I guess, what his thoughts are. But I guess there's just people still talk about it, and
course.
it's 10 years ago almost. Like,
How's the comments in both their Instagrams?
Oh, it's
There's still Marquez
crazy.
fans commenting on Rossi. There's still Rossi fans commenting on Marquez.
Well, I was going through a lot of the comments, and a lot of people, there was probably more hate for Rossi because they're like, fuck, just, get over it.
Yeah.
Or, like, I was reading some, and I was like, I'm a massive Rossi fan, but it's just like time to move on. And look, there's obviously, you got to move on. He's probably moved on. He's just talking about it.
He's been asked about and
You
talking
know.
about it.
yeah.
But Yeah, it's not like that was my first thought. My first thought was like, "Fuck, just move on, bro." Like, but you know, that's what makes it fun. And he's been asked, like, he's been asked the question. He's going to talk about it. Marquez doesn't care.
No.
You know.
It'd be good if they could just, I don't know, hash it out and move on, sort of thing.
That will never
boxing
happen.
match.
It will never happen.
Oh, the Lorenzo
Lorenzo
Pedrosa.
Yeah.
Put him in a ring.
But you know what? That will be a amazing event that, like, in 10 years' time, 15 years' time, there's like Rossi and Marquez on stage, some big promoter. That would be incredible.
Yeah,
be
Motorsport
incredible.
Republica in the middle.
That would be insane. That's something we have to.
We'll bring them back together. Don't worry.
We have to organise. That would sell out. That would sell at the MCG, I reckon.
Imagine that. It would. Yeah, but look, I don't know. I don't think they're ever going to be mates again, and I don't think they really care. The thing that they just say Rossi is still seething over it. It's 10 years ago. Fuck, I'm sure he's moved on. But does it? I don't think all this mentality. I guess his mentality of Marquez. I wonder if it's gonna. Let me rephrase this. I wonder if it's gonna affect Bagnaia. The media's kind of spoken about it. I don't think it will. We've spoke about this last week. Bagnaia is cool, calm, collected. And I think that's the way you're going to go against Marquez.
Yeah, 100%.
But you know, you don't want Rossi in his box or in his ear. You know what I mean?
I think Rossi understands his riders too, and he'll know that it's not going to bother Pecco, and it's not something to bring up with Pecco, and just talk to him about the job he's got to do.
Yeah.
And not worry about anyone else, because I'm sure he doesn't talk to him about Martin.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure. I could only guess.
Yeah.
Because I think if you start then getting in Pecco's head, that's when he will fidget and, you know, throw it down the road or make mistakes and, you know, not be clear in his mind on how to attack this race.
Is Bagnaia, like, how mentally strong is this guy?
Seems pretty mentally strong.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to be to win a championship that's going down to the wire.
Yeah, it's
Twice.
interesting. He's pretty ice cold.
He is
Pretty
ice cold.
You know, for as boring as he is.
Yeah. But it's like it's a Lorenzo effect, like we talk about on the pod. Like, it's going to be the kind of guy that you appreciate much more after you retire.
What hurts Bagnaia, and I think it's still pretty unfair, is people just talk about
The bike.
the bike.
Yeah, I
know?
think that's a bullshit.
You still got to ride
Bullshit
it,
call.
obviously.
Exactly right.
Yeah, you still got 3 other guys in the same machinery as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah,
But that's how it'll be.
It's just interesting. The talk's interesting. It's fun. It's fun to happen. I don't think Marquez would care.
It just
But
adds another dynamic for next
I
year.
don't think both of them give a shit anymore, to be honest.
yeah.
Like, why would you? Like you said, you've just been asked a question about it. It's not like he's brought it up.
No, he starts his own podcast. I hate Mark Marquez. Just rants about that.
Like, I'd join him on that. There'd be plenty to talk about too.
I love it.
But you know, it's just a Spanish-Italian rivalry at the same time. Like, it's just so much to it. There's so
Yeah,
many layers to it.
Yeah, you can unpack it. You can unpack it since, you know, Phillip Island and before, when stuff started to go
What
wrong.
What happened on that Phillip Island race in 2015 that was so talked about? Because I don't remember it being that a dirty race or
It
anything
wasn't.
like that.
He just accused,
Marquez
I think, slowing up the pack.
and that wasn't Seagull.
Yeah, that was the same race.
Okay, so that was that race. Yeah. And Marquez won that, didn't he?
Yeah, Marquez. It was one of the best, probably one of the best races of all time.
Yeah.
And then it was basically him accusing of just trying to get Lorenzo to win, which I never really understood why he would want Jorge to win. He was on a different team.
And then
Yeah, but
Malaysia
he
was
was out of the championship.
Yeah,
and
but
Malaysia was the
still.
next week, wasn't it? Was it the week after Malaysia?
Yeah,
And that was the kicking incident.
Yeah, that was.
And then that was the final race of the season in Valencia the week after, and Rossi got demoted to the back of the grid.
Yeah,
and carved through to fourth.
So
Yeah.
what was the?
But if you watch that race, sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
If you watch that race, Marquez and Pedrosa sitting second and third did not fucking fight anyone at all. Pedrosa tried to fight Marquez a bit. He fended him off.
Yep.
Because he probably knew he'd fight Lorenzo. But Lorenzo literally cruised home. He didn't have to worry. So come at me in the comments if we clip this or whatever. I don't give a shit. I think
finally got him fired up.
No, it's bullshit. If you watch the race, it's the only fucking race where they're just like that all the way, like just punching in laps. Because they knew everyone would be backing up sort of Rossi in a sense, and he would come through and wouldn't be able to catch them if they just shot off.
what I don't understand though, I can't believe we're talking about this again. What I don't understand is why at Phillip Island, Marquez would want to be helping Lorenzo, because they weren't even mates, because fucking Marquez punted Lorenzo off. So I don't get that. And then after the kicking,
And that's fact. That's fact. Rossi's come out and said that.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then I don't get. Okay, whatever the kicking incident is, fine. That happens.
Were they fighting for first?
No,
No.
third or fourth.
That was a
And
podium
Lorenzo
spot.
was out in front,
Yeah.
dominating,
Yeah.
wasn't
Yeah,
he?
yeah. What I don't get is okay. So just say all that Phillip Island, Sepang, it all turns to shit. Rossi and Marquez hate each other. Obviously, then Marquez is not going to want Rossi to win. So there's your motive there.
Yeah.
But if let's just say Rossi never said anything in Phillip Islands that steamrolled all this, and then there was never the incident in Malaysia, who knows what the result would have been in Valencia? Do I think what the biggest surprise to me is that he got a grid penalty?
Yeah.
Rossi. I don't think that was deserved.
Yeah, that was a bit ridiculous.
Yeah, it was.
He should be more angry at fucking Dorna.
Yeah, it really fucked that. Could have been an amazing final race. How many points was Lorenzo?
5 points.
Fuck, it was only 5
330 to
points.
325.
So if it was first and second, Rossi would have maybe won if he had more
Well,
race
if
wins.
Lorenzo had come second, he still would have won on wins anyway.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So, but like I said, you go rewatch that race. They did not fight at all.
Yeah,
he
but
got out to the front. That was it. They left him alone.
They're not gonna. They don't. Marquez wouldn't have wanted Rossi to win after everything.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So they did have that like Spanish mafia and just all just sat there in a line.
But what doesn't make any sense is why Marquez was
Because
helping
Marquez was
Lorenzo.
he was 240 points. He couldn't win at all.
No, but why he was helping the claim of why he was helping Lorenzo win and Phillip
Yeah, that
Islands.
doesn't make sense.
That doesn't make two different teams.
It's more that he didn't want Marquez didn't want Rossi to win the championship. There's obviously tension brewing before
Yeah,
Phillip
there's,
Island.
obviously,
was.
there's obviously
Yeah,
something
there
around
was.
the back of the paddock.
It can't
or
just
something
be
that you
like-
don't see.
But yeah, it's not. It's two massive egos. You got Rossi who's won all these titles that wants to win again, and then you got Marquez who's just won 10 in a row the year before, won 2 titles. Like, what do you expect's going to happen?
Yeah, that's right. Obviously, you got two giants of the sport coming together.
And it's just when social media is kicking off as well, I guess.
That's right. Malaysia, Lorenzo came second. Pedrosa won.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah.
What a championship.
So yeah,
It's got to be one of the best years in MotoGP history, doesn't it? There's so many incidents that year. Far out.
Yeah, but people just got to fucking move on. as
Seagull
well.
kicking, the Rossi fighting for the championship.
You know what gets forgotten? Lorenzo winning the title.
I know.
Poor old cheeseburger.
Cheesy.
lost sponsorships from that, but
Yeah, he did. Lost his HJC sponsorship.
Who's that?
Lorenzo.
Why?
didn't want to wear the gold helmet, and I think the way he carried on
Yeah.
after the whole
He was-
situation.
Cheesy's cheesy. Like, we know what Cheesy's like now, but back then he was a bit arrogant.
Yeah, but that's what it took to win.
That's the
Again,
that's
there's
the
the villain.
pirate. That's
Yeah.
the pirate.
Fucking oath, bro. He came in with arrogance,
Yeah.
didn't he? Big chubba in mouth,
Yep.
ball up.
crazy.
Launched himself to the moon. Broke both
Both
ankles.
Bro, #1 Motorsport Republica podcast in the world.
Talk about he could be one of the ultimate pirates. He was fucking hated back in the day, cheeseburger.
He was. He
I
was.
hated him. Now I love him. I'll do anything to eat his cheeseburger. If you know what I'm saying.
Oh, far
Weekly
out. I
cheeseburger
can't believe
segment.
we just talked about Rossi Marquez for 20 minutes.
Was it
Crazy.
20 minutes?
Let's jump on something else if you guys are done. Acosta comments about the new team, new like radio.
What did he
I
say?
didn't see his comments.
So he said it's super dangerous and he can't believe that it's been allowed into
I
the
think it
into the
is too.
sport because
Yeah, yeah.
you looked at the cameras in their suits are breaking collarbones, proven. Mm-hmm. And he goes, "What happens if my head hits something and I got a fucking piece of
Thing in your ear,
in my
yeah.
ear? Like, how are they going to test that?"
Yeah, fuck that, man.
That's true.
And they say it's all about safety. Bullshit, it's about safety. It's about the viewer. That's what they want. So 2025, they bring in that they can talk to the riders.
I think people can.
2026, you can talk back. So they're going to do two-way communication.
I don't like that at all, man. Not for MotoGP.
I hate it. I think riders have come out and said they'll refuse. Maybe it was Pedro said
Yeah.
he refused to wear it. And I love when they don't want communication. Just have the board. That's what makes it fun. Because
Yeah, I know.
sometimes they don't know what's going on.
right.
There's flag to flag stuff. Okay, works in F1, great. But we don't want it in motorcycle racing.
The only thing that I would love, and it probably will take the joy out of watching it anyway, is like if someone is slowing down, I'd love to know why they're going slow. Is it tires? Is it something else?
But
is
don't you
pressure?
love it when you don't know?
You don't
You're like,
know.
what's
I know,
going
that's
on?
right. I know. That's the mystery is so good as well.
If we had radio communication, we wouldn't have had Misano a week or two ago.
yeah.
That's right.
He,
Martin wouldn't have pitted.
He wouldn't have pitted.
Yeah.
Nah, fuck that, man.
Yeah, me too. I'm off it. You've been shaved.
Yeah, not good for the sport. I don't like it at all. How's just on Pedro Acosta? How's he the little cheek when he's like, "Oh, glad you put in all those tips that I taught you."
Who did you say that to?
He said it
Oscar?
about Oscar Piastri.
Yeah, because
they
it's
did a quad
Yeah,
lock
the
thing
quad
together.
lock thing. That's crazy that Quad Lock is an Australian company and they've got
They're killing it.
They're amazing.
Bro, like Pedro Acosta is probably going to be the biggest name in motorcycles in fucking a year's time.
But Piastri might be as well.
Yeah, it's crazies.
They got some great athletes
But
on
Piastri's Aussie, so I get that. But the whole thing is getting this young Spanish kid. I mean, that brand is just such a good brand, isn't it, Quad Lock? They're just going to take the world by storm because
There you go.
it's something about brands like that is so trusted. I mean, this
Yeah.
is not even a sponsorship, but it's just it's going to work, and it's the best thing. So
It's amazing.
We might
I
send
love
this to
using
them.
it.
What do you reckon?
Yeah, well, shout out to Quad Lock if we need an extra sponsor. So
Yeah, we
we'd love
have a performance of the week sponsor opening up, so you guys can join that if you
And
like.
we're Aussie as well. You can look after us. We're in the motorsport. Daniel's got a Quad Lock case. I've got a Quad Lock case.
I've got a
Yeah.
Quad Lock case, but it's not on at the moment.
because that's your work phone, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Anything else from MotoGP?
Yeah, Somcat Chantra.
Too soon?
Too soon. What I'm talking about is the Idemitsu Honda relationship there. Do you think that is what's the word? What's the word I'm looking for?
Racist?
A little bit, yeah, because I only want Asian riders. But do you think it's stunting their progress? Because let's be honest, Somcat Chantra's 10th in a World Championship in Moto2. He's only had 2 race wins over these couple of years.
Yeah.
Where you could get a better rider, obviously, into that Honda team. Do you think that sponsorship is stunting their progress with only getting a certain type of rider in where they maybe can't develop the bike, they don't have the skills, and that could be one of their issues? There's obviously massive issues with Honda, but one of their issues on why they're not developing a bike. Because if you look at, traditionally you look at like Pramac Ducati, they would test parts on that bike,
Yeah.
and they've got capable riders. Where, no offense to Nakagami, but I don't think he's there. And they've just put him on as a test rider as well. I don't think that he's the man to do that. I think they need to look for a new. I'm sure they're paying a boatload of money, and that's probably why that
Yeah, I think
team's
that's why
really
they're there.
afloat. Where if you've got, whoever sponsoring, it might not work. But
Because prior to that, he only ran one bike, LCR.
yeah, true.
Well, that's probably the thing,
That's
though.
that's what's I think that's what's
the
keeping
issue.
it alive
But
is that
it's-
sponsorship.
It's like almost like a double-edged sword.
But I think for that it doesn't really matter too much because I don't think like Lucio Cecchinello has much to do with it in a sense. It's kind of a separate team that just runs under his banner.
I think he's still got a big part in it.
He does?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's still got a massive part in it.
Yeah, I thought he was more focused just on that actual like Castrol or Kimi
Nah,
sponsored
it's
bike.
We
both.
might go ask
It's
that question.
both.
We'll ask that question in a few weeks down there, I reckon.
Yeah, I think we should. But I'm pretty sure it's both. But, if you're only getting mid-tier riders into that team,
Yeah, I'm
and
sure
you've got
he's not happy about
Aigura
that.
doesn't want to go in, then I'm sure that's a reason why that Honda's not doing so well and not
Yeah,
progressing.
good point.
Yeah, it's a great point. It's a great point as well that you made. It's like, to be honest with you, they'd only have one bike if it wasn't for Idemitsu.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's right.
it's better running a guy who's going to finish last of a race and run 2 bikes and probably not have to pay anything than running 1 bike. So
When's the bloody Saudi Arabians getting into MotoGP and just pouring in millions or billions of dollars? Like, seriously.
Liberty Meter might help that. We'll see.
Yeah, true.
I'm surprised I don't go to more Middle Eastern countries. There's only one. Like, Qatar's the only Middle Eastern track. So
Yeah, you've said that for a while.
like, but Bahrain could be awesome. Like, I really believe in Bahrain being cool. I don't think Abu Dhabi would suit bikes. It's too close barriers and stuff. But Bahrain could be really cool.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
Who knows what we'll see in the future.
Yeah.
And Misano coming up.
Yeah, Misano. Now, all the viewers listening in Australia, they have revised this race start time. So it's 9 p.m. race start for MotoGP on Sunday. So they have brought it back because F1 starts at 10 in Singapore. So,
That's so good.
just so everyone knows that. So we're going to be able to watch MotoGP and then F1 and then be in sleep by midnight. How good is that?
Yeah, it's good for us.
That's a
Far
fucking
out.
great weekend. It's actually a great time in motorsport. It's always the case. In spring when it starts, you got Phillip Island coming up, Rich
Yep.
Skulls, and a couple of races that are sort of a bit early in the night. So
Yeah,
it helps.
With that, are they running Moto2 after the GP race though, or are they bringing the whole thing forward?
I can't confirm that. I think Moto2 will run after MotoGP.
yeah.
Sounds
Okay.
like it. Yeah, it's going to be good. And Bags came out and said it's going to be pretty dangerous as well because everyone's going to be on the limit from FP1. They've got to use different tyres because they need to save tyres they know they're going to use unless the weather's different.
Let's go for all
but
wacky
it'll be-
weather.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. You know what also came up on my Instagram? Visit Italy. Like, you know how that says like visit Australia? Visit Italy came up. And do you know what was trying to tell me to go to? Vincenza for the Dainese factory to check out
it came up on mine too.
the VR46 merch.
No way.
The archive.
Yeah,
I got that as well.
I was like, that's crazy. That's how big Valentino Rossi is and Dainese. That's they're on a visit Italy thing.
That'd be pretty sick though. It looks like a cool.
Yeah, Superbike's been there, I'm pretty sure.
Now, before we jump on to hot takes, I just wanted to have a little bit of supercars action in there from yesterday. I watched the Sandown 500 was on, and super excited to see that the 500-kilometre race is back on a Sunday. That's just the traditional time slot. You don't have two 250 races like they've done in previous years. It did change last year, but I didn't notice.
I had no idea.
Really good race and really interesting. It was a really good taste for Bathurst coming up. So
Shout out Damo for being down at Sandown.
yeah, my friend Damo Garapoli just wanted to apologise, mate. I fucked your pizza oven on Saturday night. Damo bought a brand new pizza oven. I just wanted to come and say a public apology because I accidentally, the pizza base broke and all the cheese went in the pizza oven. And he was out there for about 3 hours cleaning it. And if everyone knows Damo, he's a meticulous Italian. He likes everything quite neat and tidy. And he won't. The pizza oven's going to be not going to be good forever again. So, poor fella. Love you, Damo. Sorry, mate. Damo was down there. He had pit walk.
Yeah,
he was
I saw
on,
that.
He was on the. I couldn't believe it through his
That's
work.
cool.
So he had a truck day
I
there
was gonna
today.
say he was in the car stand, wasn't he?
So Damo got Newland Racing helped him out. So we were with Damo took us through
we've been in there.
pit lane from OzGP a couple of years ago. So super good race. Scotty Pye, friend of the pod, got the win. Which was good for him. He's a podcast. What's it called? The podcast, James?
What's this?
Scotty Pye's podcast.
Hitting the Apex or something like that?
Apex
Hunters?
Hunters. Yeah, so a fellow motorsport podcast. So good for him. And Will Brown, obviously, he's the main driver. Scotty Pye's the endurance driver. So, 63,000 people they had there on Sandown on
Really?
Sunday. So actually, a
turnout.
really
That's
good
really good.
turnout. And I knew a few people who went, said there was a really good event. So, hopefully some, resurrect the supercars paddock again because, would love to have that sort of that prime Australian motorsport because we know how much it's hurting at the moment.
That Castrol Ford looked amazing.
Really good. Yeah.
It's kind of like that old Supra, Castrol Supra look. It looked
Going
really
back to
cool.
local events though, like you looked at Coda and they had their superbike event with the baggers. Like that looked like a cool event. Plenty of people there.
Our mate Michael Hill was there.
Michael Hill was there,
going
which you get Michael Hill, you're going to get people. That's just
He's
that's
incredible.
plain.
He's brilliant. Isn't
He's
he?
the best. I know. You know what is crazy about that? I'm super excited for Superbikes this year at Phillip because of Michael Hill, not the jeweler either. The
Maybe both.
The commentator.
commentator. All right, hot takes, James. We're also looking for a hot.
Just on AMA, shout out Troy Herfoss. Second in race one,
Yep.
race win, race two, still in the hunt for the title. I think going into the last round.
Pod favourite?
Very much so a pod favourite.
We love him.
He's so good on those bikes, man.
If you haven't listened to it, listen to our pod with Troy Herfoss. It's really good.
Yeah, beautiful. James, hot currently unsponsored hot takes. Go for it.
Codlock, if you're listening. At the Silver 87S, Quartararo is the best, not most talented, in brackets, rider on the grid with the worst bike. So for him, it goes Quartararo, Marquez, Bags, Martin.
I actually personally think Martin's the most talented rider on the grid.
Jeez.
Yeah.
No,
He's got to get his head right, and he's so fast. He's super quick.
Yeah, quick, but
He's probably
Over
his
a race
fastest
distance.
lap.
Yeah, he's definitely fastest qualifier.
I'd have to tend to agree. I still think Fabio's one of the best riders on the grid, if not the best rider on the grid.
Yeah. Him or Marquez for me.
He's taking the cash though. So
Yeah, for that annoys me so much, man. He would have done so good on that Aprilia.
Yeah,
But
he would have. He would have. At Jack Giles, need to bring back real wheels in F1. The aero discs are worse than any aero on GP bikes.
rear wheels.
Real wheels.
Real wheels.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't know
It doesn't
anything
really
about
worry
that.
me at all, to be honest with you. Doesn't either worry me.
neither
Yeah.
here nor there.
Yeah, the it doesn't affect the racing, and that's what we aren't too happy with the aero and the MotoGP box, because we know that affects the racing.
All right, I like it. At little.red97, if Norris can't win the title without team orders, he doesn't deserve it.
James would have had that fucking highlighted 6 times in every different
Surprised
colour.
he didn't shout that one out first.
I actually replied back to him saying, I love you so much, mate. Good question.
Well, yeah, but again, all the great champions in history have had their team orders on their side. Hamilton, Bottas moved over for him.
What round was that?
Oh, I'm not sure, bro. Fucking hell.
Towards the end
I'm not a
of the season.
encyclopedia. Fucking hell.
Towards the end of the season, but a race or two left. So it wasn't 10 races to go.
No.
That's my point. Mic drop.
But yeah, anyway.
When someone annoys me, I'm like, I don't get off it.
Yeah, I know.
I'll stay.
We
on
call
it.
it stubborn, I think. Is the word.
Hard-headed.
Yeah, I'm pretty stubborn, unfortunately.
Ask the missus.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
I'm just gonna say a fuck you first to this guy at Matt Stevens. In a few years, Red Bull will be the Richmond of F1. All the key people will leave, and a team will be shit.
You know what, Matt Stevens? Go suck a lemon. That's a terrible call.
That's terrible.
Don't go after the Tigers like that.
Yeah, that hurts me.
It
That
does.
hurts me. I'm not even wearing any gear today. Tom, stop replying to people.
No,
We're
I just-
Live on a podcast.
He was just booking in Cherry.
No, I messaged Dave and said, you just got a public apology on the podcast live. I'm really sucking up at the moment.
Do you want me to replay this? Say this thing.
Yep.
In a few years, Red Bull will be the Richmond of F1. All the key people will leave, and the team will be shit.
Oh, wow. Fucking hell. It's been glorious seeing Richmond's demise, I have to admit. No, I think the you got to remember the money involved. Red Bull's not going to disappear, as in
No,
the
that's
company.
Not
It's
doing a
too
rep
much.
style.
And money equals results. Always in F1, they go
Yeah,
in hand
that's
in
right.
hand. So no, I don't see them disappearing. I always see them there or thereabouts, but we'll see what happens. Like, they're not going to go to the back of the grid or anything like that. They've never been on the back of the grid since, like,
David Coulthard days.
well, yeah, Christian Albers, 2008. That was the last time. And then Toro Rosso won a race in 2008 with a similar car. So they've always been there or thereabouts.
Yeah. I like it. Matt Stevens again. This is a good one. Hitting the apex is the best motorsport doco of all time. Bring back those types of docos.
Yeah, they're all great.
They're all great. Faster for me, the OG one is
He's good too.
is my favorite.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I have to admit, though, the Brawn documentary currently on Disney Plus.
Still got to get on that.
Oh yeah,
Everyone
yeah.
at home have to watch it. It is one of the most craziest documentaries, and you know the result, but it still goes twists and turns. Definitely get on it if you're a Formula One fan. If you're a MotoGP fan, you haven't watched Fastest, and
Fastest hitting the apex. They're all really good.
they're
great.
all amazing.
The
And
faster one's awesome because you kind of go between the 500 cc's
the
and,
four strokes.
and the four strokes. John Hopkins' rise, and when you see him as a young kid, Biaggi versus Rossi. Oh god! And Gary McCoy,
He's in
Slide
as
King,
well.
big feature in it.
and the narration in that is just
Ewan McGregor.
Ewan
shout out.
McGregor. It just gets your spine tingling, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's great.
And some of the footage, I think it's Rossi going through Suzuka testing, and it's like the sun's setting, and it's just beautiful,
Glorious.
Oh, it doesn't get any better than that.
No,
Another good one's Michael Schumacher's doco.
it is.
That's
Yeah,
a
that's not
really
bad,
good
that.
one. Senna's ones are all
Yeah.
been good, the movies and stuff, but
I don't know about this F1 movie coming out though, and they call it F1.
Brad,
Yeah.
They called it F1.
Brad Pitt or some shit, isn't
Yeah,
it?
Brad Pitt.
That's
yeah.
fucking lame as.
But it's weird. They're gonna have like real footage of them on the grid and stuff. But
Those types of docos are the best. Brad Pitt narrated a few of those fast,
did.
hitting
Yeah.
apex, whatever. So
well, yeah. I mean, the narration makes a big difference in my opinion. It's
Yeah.
you know, Keanu Reeves did the
Brawn one.
The Brawn one.
oh, okay.
And he actually
Yeah.
interviewed people on the it was really really good. So
Oh, I need to watch it.
get around it.
It's good seeing. I personally like those types of ones better than like the Drive to Survive, where it seems like those docos. It's more, I guess, more about the racing or more factual.
Yeah.
Where I guess Drive to Survive is a bit more.
And they add some fake. As soon as they start faking stuff, you just question everything.
Because the drivers come out and say, "No, it's not real. That's not
Yeah.
real." And then I lose faith. Then
I am the biggest F1 fan, and I haven't watched the last 2 seasons of Drive to Survive. I couldn't care less.
I've only watched one season, and I was like, 2 seasons. It's like, oh, okay, done with that. What do we got next? I haven't highlighted these. I only ran 31Ks today, so I lost. I didn't have enough time, boys.
He had a big week last week. He worked one day. He was sick.
Yeah, how you feeling, James?
I'm gonna be sick tomorrow, so I reckon I'm pretty tired. The Learner 7. Mark moving over to Factory Ducati next year. Does Monster stay or does Red Bull move over with Mark?
Have you heard anything about that yet? Or
No,
is it...
still nothing on that.
Yeah, it's an interesting one though.
I think Red Bull stay as his personal sponsorship. He'll just have Red Bull on his leathers and probably
He might not be able to run it.
Yeah, right. He might have Red
But
Bull on
there's
his helmet.
Big money, I suppose, for him. So there'll be a way that he can run that. Because Mia had to ditch Monster when he went to Repsol Honda.
Yeah,
Because he was Red Bull. Had to take it off his helmet and all that.
True.
But still sponsored at all, or is it just to drop the sponsorship altogether?
No, they dropped the sponsorship.
Would he wear a Red Bull hat when he was walking around his
Nah.
local town or anything like that?
Nah.
No,
Being a
he
Red
was
Bull-
Monster.
Bro.
He had to drop Monster, when he went to
And then
Repsol
he
because
went
they were Red Bull.
Do you remember how proud
Same with Marini.
Jacob Rulestone was that he was a Red Bull athlete?
Oh, man,
so
it's
cool.
the biggest thing ever.
How cool is
He
that?
comes in, he goes like, you only get this. He had the drink bottle, he had the
Yeah.
can. He's like, and he showed us the thing, Red Bull athlete.
Yeah.
Like he was so proud. It's probably one of the biggest. It's the most important sponsorship in the world.
Yeah, it'd have to be.
That'd be the
Red
best
Bull.
one to be.
Yeah, and he was so proud that he was a Red Bull sponsored athlete, and like that's the thing. It's a what a group of people to be a part of.
100%. Their training facility's wild
Yeah.
too.
Yeah,
It's insane.
so much money, man.
Who would have thought from just a drink that tastes okay, that gives you a little buzz, like can be the biggest one of the biggest companies in the world?
Yeah, it's nuts.
Crazy.
And all the advertising is basically just with sponsoring events.
Yeah.
And they sponsor like random shit, like breakdancing and
Yeah.
obviously a lot of motorsport and skydiving.
Never been massive. Yeah, I mean, like probably less in Australia, but like it's the big events. They're always there at the FIFA World Cup. They're always there at Formula One, MotoGP, like the big
They're
stuff.
around, yeah.
But they do weird events like
The supercars. That's all
Yeah,
Red Bull. Yeah.
I've seen them sponsor obscure like trial stuff or
Yeah.
like random European big hill climbs.
Hill climbing, diving, deep diving.
Yeah,
They
like bro,
They
breakdancing.
I think they even sponsor the one where you got to like run up the soapy pole and like get the flag.
Hang on
and
a
shit.
sec, Soapy Bowl. Hang on a second.
I won that once.
Okay, no. That's LA Earth 91. Will Republica have a merch stand in Phillip Islands? Well, Phillip Island didn't charge 20 grand for a fucking stand. We probably would, but
Yeah, 100%. And it's
Good value, bro. Good value. LGP, come on. We're still yet to determine what we're doing down at Phillip Island, but we'll have something going on, I reckon.
maybe.
You
See
said
what
you were
happens.
going to work the stand, weren't you?
Yeah, you work at the stand,
Yeah.
Tom?
No way.
I'm pretty sure that's what you both said.
I'll pay some little international there to sit there for $10. You can't even pay him $10 an hour anymore. It's like the minimum wage is like $30
Yeah,
an
it's
hour.
like $30.
How are you supposed to afford anything?
For the listeners, my old job for 5 years in a row tried to get me to work the merch stand, and I said I would rather get fired before I do that for MotoGP. There's no.
Will they
fucking
be there
chance.
this year, James?
Yeah, I think they will. Yeah.
Yeah. Would you be going to visit them?
Fuck no. Fuck no. I'll be I'll
See
be
them on the way back from the pub?
yeah. I don't want to throw hands. I'll throw hands.
and I'll be getting people signing up for fucking motoheaven.com.au and they'll be buying their fucking shit from them.
They should as
Absolutely.
well. I mean, they're going to get a cheaper price, free delivery, and a family-owned business. What do you want?
Well, you want a helmet that's tried on? No, you don't. You want a helmet that no one's touched.
Yeah, exactly.
Fresh out the box.
Exactly right. Matt Ould. When are we going to see some in real life content? Want to see Tom chuck a leg over 1,000s?
Oh, okay. Jesus. All right. Well, we're trying to get down to Avali maybe on a Tuesday.
Far from 1,000s.
Yeah.
We'll start with that, I think. If
You
anyone
did
knows-
try and start with Tuono.
The little 190.
We'll start with the 190, maybe. I did the opposite that I should have done when I got my license. I bought a 1,000cc bike where I probably should have bought a 190 and
Well,
worked my way
this
up.
is like an insight into Tom's ego. Yeah, I could tame the Tuono. Like, no worries.
Yes, true, but I am first to put my hand up and say I definitely cannot tame it, and it
Yeah.
was a big mistake. So, what a bike that was. I actually came home like I felt sick.
You got car sick from
Yeah,
it. That's
I was
ridiculous.
fucked. And my ears were ringing. The fucking what exhaust was
And
that?
then a little stubby
Racing.
Austin Racing.
Austin
yeah,
Racing.
fucking
I had to
loud.
pull it off, remember? When
Yeah, I had the
when the guy bought it.
Yeah, God, thank God I sold that thing. Bloody hell. I never look at my garage and go, I shouldn't have sold that. I'm like, thank God it's gone.
Thank God it's gone.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a nice bike, man.
Yeah, well, he's
It was
enjoying
nice.
it. Joey, whatever his name was.
You need like a little MT-07 or something like that.
Nah, but they're a bit, I don't know, dare I say it, a bit faggish. Can I say that?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, is that
but
right?
like all learner bikes.
I
are.
like Curdy's bike, the V2. That's a hot bike. Love that.
Yeah, you having drums on its phone. You have the same drums
It's
on
like a
that.
tame 700. It's fine. What are you talking about? 700. Put it in wet mode. It'll be fine.
You'd be good on a
you're-
postie bike, I reckon.
Yeah, you're gonna be fucked, mate. Give him a Pee-wee 50 of training wheels. That's Matt Stevens.
You've got 3 of his, bro. He's a pretty...
I needed to lead
What's
into this
going
one. I
on?
need to lead into this one.
Matty Steve's getting 3 out of...
Yeah, well, no, he's a good listener to the pod. Gotta give him a shout out sometimes. Tomac is back. Jed is the GOAT, and Chase Sexton lives on Fraud Watch.
That's your alley there,
That's
mate.
my
Yeah,
alley.
It's very you.
So I just watched, shout out to George, Luke, and Christian, watched the Super Motocross, whatever it is, on the weekends in Fort Worth, Texas. And so it's a new event that they do, which is half Supercross, half Motocross.
That's cool.
Oh,
And
okay.
it's 4 rounds, I believe, and you win like $5.5 million if you win it.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's big money.
$5.5 million.
$5.5 American, Tom.
Jesus Christ.
Far out, man.
That's
That's a lot of money, man.
Add some Ferraris to the Lawrence boys. Anyway, Hunter, shout out to Hunter Lawrence. He took it out on the weekend.
Hey,
Bro,
nice.
racing was awesome. The 450s was amazing. I think it was Jet's first race back after his big injury. Chase Sexton, Hunter won the first one. Chase Sexton dominated the second moto, but Hunter just had better points, obviously, by the end of it.
Overall.
And it was just really good racing. And it's interesting, Hunter at the end said, because it's half motocross, half supercross, they can't set the bikes up because you can't have it too stiff or too soft. And he's like, the best analogy I could put, it's like getting like a road cycling Tour de France bike and doing downhill on it. So like you could see him get all out of shape, and it was obviously hard work. And
Right. It's so interesting.
Yeah.
That's awesome, though.
yeah, it was really good. But yeah, it was fun to watch. It was a lot of fun to watch. It's just hard to watch unless you buy the bullshit subscription. It's like $300 in Australia.
Yeah, it's wild, man.
Yeah, but it was really good racing. It was fun. It was really good.
Nice. It's awesome.
Yeah. Shout out to the motocross, supercross fans. It's called Puppy. Can you get that up for me, please? I think you've got it. Maybe. I think he sent a question. That's who we want to interview, unless I've got it here.
Oh yeah, I replied to him. It was, so who would you guys like to interview the most out of?
You message him. What have you been talking about?
No, this is on Republica. If y'all could interview anyone for the pod, who would it be out of Christian Horner, Simon Crafer, who we tried to get on the pod actually, but he didn't want to come on. Jack Miller, Nico Rosberg, or Nick Harris. It's actually 5 really different sort of guess.
For me, it would be Nick Harris.
Nico Rosberg.
Yeah, right. Okay.
I'm a big Nico fan.
You know what? Nico is probably the most refreshing commentator I've heard in the
he's
last
good, isn't he?
years. He just says it how it is. And like last week, they were talking about, if Verstappen became available in 26, I'm like, how would you get rid of Antonelli or George Russell? I don't think you need to. They're good young. And Nico Rosberg's like, if fucking Verstappen comes available and he wants to come, you fucking pay him the money and get him to come. Like,
Yeah.
and then everyone's like, yeah, you're right. Like, just so many grey areas in the world of
it's trying to
fucking
be
commentary
like
now.
political and
Just say how it is.
Who
Like
would
we
you
do.
choose?
Christian Horner would be really interesting. I'd love to ask him about, the instance last year and all that kind of stuff.
Sporty Spice or whatever.
Sporty
it is.
Spice. Ginger Spice, yeah.
True.
But he's had an amazing career, like just on Christian Horner. Like, yeah, he didn't make it in racing, but he's just forged a path. And they could have easily fired him last year when all that shit came out, and they've kept him. And again, one of the biggest companies in the world, one of the biggest sporting teams in the world, and he must be very, very important to that team.
For sure.
That's a sure thing.
For sure. Nick Harris would be a good one.
Nick Harris would be awesome. They'd all be really good.
He's 20, 30 years of experience just in Grand Prix racing.
I miss him so much. I miss him. He was the best commentator.
Yeah, did a lot of motocross stuff and in
Yeah.
Europe.
God, he
over
was
in
good.
Europe. Very, very interesting cat. And I'd like to just ask them how they just like the training they get and how they talk, because there's obviously a way to do it.
Yeah,
There's a
right.
technique to it. Superbike _R1M. Miller would be better than both the Sister Ruder and the Walking Dead on the Yamaha next year. He's talking about Miguel Oliveira.
Oh, Sister Ruda and who's the Walking Dead?
I don't know who the Walking Dead is. Who's it must be Rins.
Yeah.
It'll be Rins.
Oh, Rins, yeah. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I mean,
He hasn't signed yet.
oh, it's happening, isn't it?
It's happening,
announced
though.
this
Daniel's
week.
got the inside goss, so it's all
Yeah,
done.
that's it.
And that's good for the sport. I mean, yes, it would have been nice to see a young kid come in, but for us, having Miller there, it's going to be good.
Yeah.
And
we
dare
go.
I say it, he does deserve just one more shot, I think, on a different manufacturer. Just one more, and then we can.
He's still, he's got a lot to, especially for,
He can sail onto the
I
sunset.
wouldn't say deserves.
he's got a lot of experience that can take
Yeah,
him
that's
to
what
Yamaha.
pulls him over
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
line.
100%.
Is the experience.
100%. Last one at SCO TV. Honda out of the MotoGP championship before 850s in 27. If no progress next year, BMW to take their place. It's a hot take.
Nah, they're just waiting for the new regs, though. They wouldn't leave before the new regs.
There's no way there's MotoGP without Honda.
If they do 2 years or 3 years on that new regs and they still don't do anything, that's when that conversation might start. But you're right, though. It's not. They go
Yeah,
hand in
They're
hand.
too, they're too proud. They're too proud.
Yeah. Well, that's both their demise. You know.
Yeah.
That's right.
The
No, I
positive
don't
and the
think it'll
negative.
happen.
It's interesting stuff, but
So,
we love
yeah.
all the questions. Thank you for everyone for sending them in.
Yeah,
Yep,
I love the
always.
questions. And big weekend of motorsport again this weekend. We're super excited. We've got obviously second round at the San Marino Grand Prix, and then on the streets of Singapore, which is
Yes,
always a good
very
race.
exciting.
Can't wait. It's very exciting.
Just before we finish as well, condolences out to the Salvadori family.
Yeah, it's very sad.
After
Yeah,
the
very
tragic
sad.
incident over the weekend. So just a bit on Lucas Salvadori for those who might not know. He was pretty big on YouTube and Instagram. Like he made his sort of following around that as a content creator.
Yeah, and 400,000 followers on Instagram, which is incredible.
Quite a bit. And then over 600,000 on YouTube.
Jeez.
So he did
Wow.
a lot of like track day videos and like, interviewing the riders and that at World Ducati Week. He was on track with him this year. He won the Italian Superbike this year. I don't know. I think they got a couple different categories, but
Yeah.
he won the CIV Superbike. Runner-up a few times. Race World Supersport for a couple races. Superstock 600, Superstock 1000. And his father actually started Trident F2
Big team.
Yeah, it's crazy. I had no idea about that.
So yeah, it comes from obviously racing and motorsport pedigree. So yeah, sending condolences out to them was quite a big incident with another German, I think, fella named Didier Grams, who's also seriously injured. So hoping for his recovery. And Moto E, he raced last year with Pramac.
Oh, there you go.
So he was, made quite the sort of name for himself and got into a few championships just from
Good on him.
Yeah,
loving the
super
sport.
sad.
So
32 years old.
It's sad, man.
So sad.
It's just it shows you that okay, yeah, it's all fun and exciting, but fuck, it's still dangerous.
still real life.
Yeah, Formula One or MotoGP, whatever it is.
So
it's still
I'm
very
sure there'll be a
dangerous.
few tributes out Misano weekend for,
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
something
definitely.
like him. Absolutely. So
Well said, mate. Well said.
no,
Yep.
good
Well,
pod.
that's it.
All right, I'll see you boys after a massive weekend of racing.
Yep.
Thanks,
See you
boys.
then.